Does it make you sad that you're exploring some of these gigantic ideas and it feels like we're on the verge of breaking through to some very interesting discoveries, and yet you're just a finite being that's going to die way too soon? And that scan of your brain, or your full body, kind of shows that
Yeah, it's just a
yeah,
bunch of meat.
it's just a
Yes.
bunch of meat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, does that make you a little sad?
It's kind of a shame. I mean, I kind of like to see how all this stuff works out. But I think the thing to realize, it's an interesting sort of thought experiment. You say, okay, let's assume we can get cryonics to work. And one day it will.
Mhm.
There will be one of these things that's kind of like ChatGPT. One day somebody will figure out, how to get water from 0 degrees centigrade down to, minus 44 or something without it expanding. And, cryonics will be solved and you'll be able to like just put a pause in, so to speak, and kind of reappear 100 years later or something. And the thing, though, that I've kind of increasingly realized is that, in a sense, this whole question of kind of the sort of one is embedded in a certain moment in time, and kind of the things we care about now, the things I care about now, for example, had I lived, 500 years ago, many of the things I care about now, it's like, that's totally bizarre. I mean, nobody would care about that. It's not even a thing one thinks about. In the future, the things that most people will think about, one will be a strange relic
Mhm.
of thinking about, the kind of, it might be what might have been a theologian thinking about, how many angels fit on the head of a pin or something. And that might have been the big intellectual thing. So I think but yeah, it's one of these things where particularly, you know, I've had I don't know, good or bad fortune. I'm not sure. I think it's a mixed thing that I've invented a bunch of things which I kind of can, I think, see well enough what's going to happen that, in 50 years, 100 years, whatever, assuming the world doesn't exterminate itself, so to speak, these are things that will be sort of centrally important to what's going on. And it's both a good thing and a bad thing in terms of the passage of one's life. I mean, it's kind of like if everything I'd figured out was like, okay, I figured it out when I was 25 years old, and everybody says it's great, and we're done. And it's like, okay, but I'm going to live another how many years, and that's kind of, it's all downhill from there. In a sense, it's better in some sense to be able to, it sort of keeps things interesting that I can see, a lot of these things. I mean, it's kind of, I didn't expect, ChatGPT. I didn't expect the kind of, the sort of opening up of this idea of computation and computational language that's been made possible by this. I didn't expect that. This is ahead of schedule, so to speak. Even though the sort of the big kind of flowering of that stuff, I'd sort of been assuming was another 50 years away. So if it turns out it's a lot less time, that's pretty cool because, I'll hopefully get to see it, so to speak, rather than.
Well, I think I speak for a very, very large number of people in saying that I hope you stick around for a long time to come. You've had so many interesting ideas. You've created so many interesting systems over the years, and I can see now that GPT and language models broke open the world even more. I can't wait to see you at the forefront of this development. What you do. And yeah, I've been a fan of yours, like I've told you many, many times since the very beginning. I'm deeply grateful that you wrote a new kind of science, that you explored this mystery of cellular automata and inspired this one little kid in me to pursue artificial intelligence and all this beautiful world. So, Stephen, thank you so much. It's a huge honor to talk to you, to just be able to pick your mind and to explore all these ideas with you. And please keep going. And I can't wait to see what you come up with next. And thank you for talking today. We
Thanks.
went past midnight. We only did 4.5 hours. I mean, we could probably go for four more, but we'll save that till next time. This is round number 4. I'm sure, talk many more times. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.